some fresh thyme. We've got some celery stalk, yeah. Some of these ingredients are not traditional to the recipe, but I might like adding it because it's all about flavor and building flavors that you like. That said, okra. I had some in the fridge, so I might as well put it in the pot. We've got corn, Jamaican yellow yam, onion, scallion, parsley, pumpkin, Caribbean style pumpkin, a calabaza, sweet potato, garlic. These are some of the ingredients. We also need some, what most people call Irish potato. I just call it potato. We're gonna get a couple of those, and everything is going in there along with some carrot. And one of the things I keep impressing on everyone who watch my videos and my tutorials and stuff like that, the more in advance you prep your ingredients, the faster cooking will be. So it took me about 20 minutes to prep everything. I've got the corn all cut up into, bite-sized pieces. We've got, I got Yukon Gold potatoes. Some of you call Irish potato, Yukon Gold potato, sweet potato, the pumpkin. But the carrot, I just got to give it a quick chop. I washed and prepped all the herbage that's going in there. The okra, the onion is all peeled and ready to go. The yellow yam is all peeled and ready to go. So everything is done here. And that is one of the things I like impressing on people. Prep it, have it ready, and smooth sailing, man. And sooner or later, we had to get to the star of the program, that kingfish head. Now, it's been washed and cut up. Well, it's been cut up and trimmed really nicely, nice big pieces. And it's quite a bit of meat in there. I was lucky when I got this one here. But anyhow, I got the fisherman to cut it up for me, clean it out, take out all these sort of gills and all that stuff like that. And I used the juice of a lemon and cool water. I washed it and it's drained. So, let's get started. I've got my soup pot on a medium-high heat. There are 12 cups of water, just cool water coming up to a boil there. And we're going to treat this as if we're making a stock, but I've already done stock. I have my own homemade fish stock, and that recipe will be coming soon. I did promise you that a while ago. So all the pieces of fish is going in there. And the reason why I say we're going to treat this as a stock is because I want to sort of create that base of flavor, that pure niceness. I've got the thyme, and all I like doing is tying the thyme with a string, and that is going to help me fish it out easier later on. To that, I'm going to add the chopped up celery, leaves and everything. So if you can get a stalk of celery with leaves, that adds a ton of flavor. I've got here the onion. And if you want to put more onion in here, it's going to give it a wonderful flavor as well. And I've got 6 cloves of garlic. I'm just going to smash. Because later on, if I get a piece of garlic when I'm eating this fish soup or fish tea, that'll be a prize, man. We're going to hit that with sea salt. And I'm trying not to go too heavy with the sea salt because I know my fish stock is loaded with sodium as well too. I did add salt when I was making my fish stock. Fresh ground black pepper. Give it a nice dose of that black pepper in there. And we've got that scallion. We want to bring that up to a boil and let that simmer for about 15 minutes before we add more stuff in there. We've been on that sort of gentle simmer for about 10 minutes now. And the kitchen is smelling incredible. The combination of the fish and all the herbage, garlic, and that onion, everything is coming together nicely. What we need to do now is start adding the body of the soup. And earlier you would have seen the bowls with the prep stuff was filled with water. And the reason for having water in there is to help it not to discolor and oxidize. So the pumpkin, sweet potato, and potato is going in. Same thing with that Jamaican yellow yam, and you notice it's already starting to discolor. That's gonna go in. That's alright, it's starting to discolor. That's just normal. That's just the way things happen, yeah? I don't know if you guys caught that, but the lighting was a little bit off there because I had the light above the stove there on, and it gave it a sort of a weird hue. And I've got 4 cups of my homemade chicken stock, fish stock. That is concentrated, so that is where my depth of flavor is going to come from. I know many of you will choose to use those packaged soups from the Caribbean. Do your thing. I don't really believe in using that because some of the wordage on on the package I can't pronounce, so I keep away from that. So now what I want to do is let that go. I'm going to add my carrots in there as well, and I'm going to float that Scotch bonnet pepper. I'm going to let that go for about 25 minutes because I want that to break down and reduce and become concentrated and absorb all those flavors. At that point, we will add the corn, and this is sweet corn I'm using, Canadian sweet corn, North American sweet corn, so it cooks really fast. We're going to go in with that. We're going to go in with the okra the last 5-10 minutes because I don't want the okra to fall apart. And then we're going to finish off with the parsley, taste for salt, boom, bam, adjust, and we've got our fish soup or fish tea ready. But for now, a little bit of patience and let that, blub, blub, bubble away. As it comes up to a boil, what I like doing is going with the spoon and skimming off the sort of froth or foam at the top here. That's going to go into the rubbish. And I like going in with some pimento berries. It's been going for about 25 minutes and I haven't been stirring it. You really don't want to stir it too much because once everything starts breaking down, and this is why the first 15-20 minutes, if you wanted to add the pumpkin, you can add it there because that's when it's going to break down and do all kind of nice things to this. But if you overstir it, the starch from the sweet potato and the potato is going to cause it to go thick and cloudy. Here's where we have all that fresh thyme. It's done its job. That can go into the rubbish. Here's where you have a choice now. You can fish that Scotch bonnet pepper. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier or not. We floated it whole in there because we wanted the oils from the outside to sort of season or flavor the soup rather than that raw heat. So take it out now. It's done its thing. I like it in there. I'm going to break it. It's going to release the beast, that Caribbean sunshine in there. The third thing we're going to do here now, those big pieces of fish with the bone and everything, I'm going to remove those. And there's going to be some big pieces of bone. Like for instance, we have this big piece of bone here. That has done its job. So I'm going to take all the fish out, take all the meat off the fish bones, and put it back in here. And that's basically what I'm doing here. I have my bowl here, all those fish bones. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please, if you are serving this to little kids or to yourself, to your friends, whoever you're serving it to, tell them there is the chance that there's going to be fish bones in here. So be very mindful of that, yeah? So I'm going to fish the fish out of here, strip it down, put it back in here, and we're going to continue. Just when you thought you got the last of the fish bones, I see two more. But just be mindful, you got to try and fish out all those bones. And again, tell the people who are dining that there may be fish bones in here. See, another one again. So I'm just going to keep working there. But what I want to do at this point is to go in with that sweet corn. That, whatever corn you have, if it's the more tough corn, you'll have to add it earlier. And I'm going to go in with the okra that I found in the fridge. You don't need the okra in there, but I like it in there, yeah? What I'm going to do now, there's room in my pot here for about 3 or 4 more, about 3 cups, 2 cups or more. Yeah, let's settle at 2 cups more of my homemade fish stock. We're going to bring that up to a boil, let that cook for about 5-6 minutes or so. Taste it for salt, black pepper and stuff like that, and then we're going to finish up. It's been 10 minutes. I gave it an extra few minutes since we added the corn and the okra to the pot. Now, here's the thing. This is supposed to be more about the broth. And speaking about broth, in the rest of the Caribbean, especially the Southern Caribbean, we have something, and I have the recipe here on the channel and on CaribbeanPot.com, called fish broth or fish broth, where it's a bit different, sort of similar, but a bit different because we add, it's more about green bananas and stuff like that in here. But we're done. We can turn off the stove here, but we need to finish it off with a couple things. What I like doing is some fresh parsley, and we need an acid in there, and that is complements of a lime. You need lime juice. Yeah, lemon juice will work, but that lime juice will give it that extra little And when you serve it with a wedge of lime as well too, so your guests can squeeze in that fresh lime juice in there. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Sub soldiers, listen. If you enjoy this recipe, I'd really appreciate it if you hit subscribe and click that bell notification thing. If you've made the recipe, take a picture and send it to me. Email address down here. I mean, trying to tell people the email address, then Butts will take the address and do all kind of thing with it. And tag me on Instagram at Caribbean Pot. I really appreciate you guys, and thanks for being in my kitchen with me today. Irene. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Fish Fridays, the Lenten season. Just look at that lovely broth. Remember to taste it and adjust it for salt, yeah? But just look at that niceness there. And the remainder, and this is a big pot, the remainder, this is something you would make when you have family and friends coming over. This is something here when you have a hangover you would want to make as well too. This is something when you're playing dominoes or you're playing cards and stuff like that you want to make. The leftovers, freeze it. However, once you freeze it, now remember, ladies and gentlemen, I went ahead and I busted that scotch bonnet pepper, right? That is pure niceness in there. If you do freeze it, allow it to thaw naturally overnight in the fridge and then put it in the microwave. If you try to thaw it in the microwave from frozen, all those lovely, that yellow yam, that sweet potato, everything is just gonna fall apart and it won't be nice. No, it won't be nice. But again, boy, Uncle Chris Real proud of this broth, boy. Look at that. Eating good tonight. Irie.